Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of The Mistake Zone, your weekly dose of our lives and the mistakes within them. My name is Jaren Wade. Joining me, as always, one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt Alba. Hey, Matt.
Yo.
How are you doing?
Yo, I'm doing good.
Matt, that's great. We're also joined by another one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Julian. Hey, Julian.
Yo.
How are you doing?
Yeah, doing great. How are you?
I'm doing as per usual. And these days, I think that's all we can ask for. But Matt, remember when we were driving to the Super Mario Galaxy movie and, we're doing the Bants asking, since we drove by a particular animal hospital, one of the things I asked you was, hey, Matt, where do you take your dog for their vet clinic visits? And then, back and forth. And Matt, we brought our dog to a vet clinic, one by the Saturday Morning Arcade Clubhouse. But the only reason I brought this up was, boys, our dog, she's a rescue. She has social anxiety. So that's why we have a deep connection. So even though she plays nice with humans, not really the best around other dogs, gets really anxious, gets really nervous. So we get in, and of course, boys, there's two other dogs in that small clinic lobby. And, we're holding her, just trying to calm her down. And there's one of the other good boys in that room is a little more playful, a little more chaotic, kind of just pacing back and forth, like sniffing everything, kind of barking at everything. And in turn, this really makes my dog go into a little panic attack. Now, Matt, Julian, there's a third dog there, and they're just observing everything going on. And then they start looking at our dog, seeing that she's having a panic attack, and that dog, too, starts having a little panic attack. And then we go to the original dog, their name was Onyx. Onyx was still, walking around. And then he notices, oh, wait, these other two dogs are having panic attacks. So that third dog, Onyx, starts having his own panic attack. And now we're sitting in a lobby with three dogs having panic attacks. And sometimes, boys, you just need to see a good Spider-Man meme in real life to make you feel good, even though your dog's obviously not having the best time right now.
Yeah.
And that was our experience going to the animal vet clinic, and good times. Got new tick medicine for her because, boys, ticks abound.
Yep.
Oh, they're on the up and up.
Yep.
Oh, man. Matt, as a dog owner for many, many years now, what's your experience with ticks?
I remember the first time that my dog had a tick on it, and I didn't realize for the longest time that it was a tick. I thought because all the dogs I've had have had very long fur, so I never really looked at it closely.
Yep.
So I always thought it was just she has I don't know, a skin tag or a mole or something. And then it wasn't until that I just happened to actually look at it one day. I'm like, oh, that's a swelled up tick.
Still attached.
It's alarming. Where I'm not sure if you guys frequent our area's subreddit, but there was a poster who posted that they took their dog on a walk around one of the bigger malls in the city and said, yeah, we got back. She had 12 ticks on her. And I thought, wow, I want to throw up in my mouth.
Oh, man.
Julian, as someone out in the East Coast, Julian, what's the tick situation like out there?
I mean, it wasn't crazy, but apparently it's gotten really bad in recent years because of, our summers here are getting much warmer than what they used to be. So we've started to really what kind of tick stuff do you guys use? Because we used to do the the over the counter, the one you kind of just spray on the back, the shoulder. But then we went to the vet, and the vet says those aren't very effective, and these are actually the effective ones, and it's a pill. And I'm I don't know, maybe it's just my brain works. I'm the thing you squeeze on their back makes sense to me because it's maybe it's a scent that wards off ticks, but how would a pill ward off a tick? I'm confused.
I mean, I'm assuming it just fills. It's okay. My theory is it's if you drank holy water and now vampires can't bite you.
Obviously.
Okay, I'm buying into it now. I believe in the vet again.
But to answer your question, Julian, we do the tick medicine. You take it once a month. Tick flea medicine, just in case. And also heartworms.
The pill one or the...
Yeah, the pill one. The pill one.
Yeah, okay.
And, just as a precaution. Plus, it's shedding season for a dog. So just every time we take her inside, we just also give her a quick brush. Just, get any hairs that's starting to shed, and just also check if there's anything on her, because boys, ticks are not fun. And I hate how my Reddit algo, ever since I saw that one tick post, has just been feeding me more tick posts from the various subreddits I'm subscribed to. And then I saw one post that was like, hey, check out this big beefy boy tick that has another tick leeching off it, and I wanted to
I saw
myself.
that one. Oh man. Yeah, that one was wild.
TikTok in the beginning of the
good go.
No, that's good.
the snake zone.
That's good.
What have you been up to lately, man?
I mean, I have just been, Jaren, I've been deep in just doing gacha dailies and juggling that with Mina the Hollower.
As you should. And I guess, Julian, since you weren't here last week, you've also finished Mina the Hollower recently, correct?
Yeah, I finished it this week.
And gotta ask you, Julian, for the content. We had Matt's early impressions, but now that you finished the game, what were your thoughts with your time with Mina?
So I had a generally pretty favorable time with Mina, and I really liked it because I did enjoy kind of like what its inspirations, like the whole like Link's Awakening on the GBA and all that. I was really enjoying it. There were certain things that kind of annoyed me early on, like the idea that I think there's like 3 sticking points that I'm like, oof, like I feel like they could have like addressed this a lot better, or maybe I'm just dumb. I'll also accept that. But number one, like traversal is tied to like tools, and then early on, like if you die, you lose your tool, so you kind of lose that traversal option. So you have to kind of go back and get it. They do kind of like try to go back on this with like, I guess like the way around it is you upgrade Mina's burrow, and then you can, permanently keep a tool there. But then like before you get to that point, like if you die, you pretty much have to like run back to wherever, a tool, like a traversal tool is, so you can kind of like continue.
Yeah, the loss of the sidearms was like a very questionable thing to me.
Yeah, it's like really heavily reliant on it. To a point where I'm like, I'm not sure this was the right choice, but I don't know. I guess you guys kind of want to do your own thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of tied to my second big like sticking point, which is I came into this because the inspirations are very clearly like, I mean, like in terms of like theme and stuff, it is like Castlevania-ish, but in terms of gameplay, it is very Zelda-ish. So I came into it with a mindset of like, I'm gonna go into dungeons, I'm gonna unlock tools, like permanent tools that'll help me with traversal and help me with like blah blah blah. And I didn't know until like a couple hours in, or maybe it's more so, that you don't really unlock anything, I guess. Like you unlock trinkets and you unlock tools, but like you pretty much, like I would leave. Like there's a like to kind of give you a big an example, like there is like really wide gaps that I thought, okay, like this isn't like something I can do now, and I would leave. But then like later on I would find out it's like, no, I actually could have done that if I had like the specific like tool. And also like swimming, like
oh yeah, when I found out how the swimming worked, I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, like I left because I was like, okay, like I'm sure, like, because I'm thinking Zelda, right? So I'm like, oh, maybe I unlock like flippers later, like in Zelda.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, and then it's like I find out later, it's like, oh no, actually, like you could just do it now, but like the game doesn't really telegraph that outside of, like the
water area.
In-game, yeah. So it's like, I don't know, like I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. So like if you are gonna play Mina, like know that it's not like a Zelda where you have to gain tool, like you gain like stuff in dungeons, you gain stuff like as you're exploring, and that stuff you can kind of use. And I think the big other thing is like the mirrors. Like, how long did that take you to figure out, Matt? The whole mirror situation.
I actually ended up doing the mirror thing very easily.
Oh,
Like
okay.
in my first dungeon, I was like, "Oh, what's this like mirror here?" I was like interacting with it, and then I don't know, it stood out in a way that like you had to do something with it, and I eventually just like fumbled my way into it.
Okay, yeah, I agree because like it did feel like there was something I was supposed to do, but you have an interaction with like if you press the interact button
Mhm,
with it,
mhm,
like
mhm.
it does something. So I thought that was the thing until like later on when it was a bit more explicit, like people kept talking about this idea of people going missing near
Yeah, yeah,
mirrors
yeah.
that I'm like, okay, like I guess like the game's trying to tell me something.
Mhm.
So then I did eventually figure it out, but there's like just a couple of things that I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know, it could
Yeah,
have been
it's weird.
like clearer maybe, or maybe I'm just like not as aware as I think. Either way, it's just there's some sticking points that I'm like I didn't like that a lot.
Yeah, once I got to the end, I kind of agree that like for the most part, I enjoyed playing the game, but there was a couple
Hmm.
points where I just like didn't enjoy it, or like I'm like, oh, why did you make this? I guess like
This way,
design
yeah.
choice. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I was talking about this with Jaren because I will be honest, like again, this is maybe like a more personal complaint and like feel like a lot of people will feel free to like disagree with me on this, but I found the difficulty curve in the final dungeon. I'm not sure if have you finished the game, Matt?
Yeah, I just finished it last night.
Okay, I mean you can probably like completely shut me down on this if you didn't find the
Uh-huh.
same, but I
Uh-huh.
found the difficulty curve in the final dungeon is kind of steep in a way that I didn't feel was natural. I kind of felt like it was like they started introducing like the mouse traps
Oh
that
yeah, the mouse trap was so annoying.
like killed you in 2 hits, and like
Uh-huh.
it didn't
Uh-huh.
that didn't appear anywhere else in the game. It just came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of the games, like the final end of the dungeon is like this really long like auto scroll
Oh yeah.
level
Yeah, the
that
auto scroll
like
was weird.
that it's just they ramped up the difficulty in a way that I didn't feel was kind of natural, and it kind of just
Mm-hmm.
felt like making it as hard as it can because it's the final like dungeon. Like there's an expectation for it to be difficult, so like we're gonna amp it up. But it didn't really feel
Mm-hmm.
like it was a natural progression. It just kind of felt like hard for hard's sake.
Yeah. I really liked the maybe for me it was like the second last thing I did where it's the I guess like the planetarium dungeon.
Yes, yes, yes,
I
yes, yes.
I thought the design of that place was like very very good because it was
I really like that thing. Yeah.
yeah, it was all basically just like puzzles and they sectioned them off in a really like nice way too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I thought that was a much better like quote unquote final dungeon design
Yeah.
than
I would agree.
yeah.
I kind of like if that was the final dungeon and then like you go into the castle. I don't know, maybe because people
Mhm.
were expecting a final dungeon, but if you went to the castle and kind of just did the final boss,
Yeah.
like maybe that would have kind of like felt better for me, but I don't know. I was talking to Jaren about this idea of like I enjoyed most of my time with it, but the final
Mhm,
few
mhm.
hours kind of like soured it a little. So now I'm looking back on it in a way that's like, because when I was playing it before I did the final dungeon, it was very much a game where I could foresee myself like replaying in like a couple years.
Mm.
But now, with all the frustrations that kind of came up when I was kind of finishing it, I'm like, I don't think I would replay this. Like, I enjoyed my time with it. I really liked it,
Mhm.
but I don't think I would ever like revisit this. Like, I don't. I think I'm kind of just like tie a bow on it and kind
Mm.
of just like, I don't know.
Yeah, like okay, I think my like biggest thing about the game is
Mm-hmm.
probably the no permanent weapons thing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because by the time I got like I want to say like 3/4 of the way through, like actually even like earlier than 3/4 of the way through, somewhere between like half and 3/4, I had really settled into a playstyle, and since you're not getting
Yes.
real new tools, you
Yeah, you're kind of
don't.
just doing the same thing.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
kind of just doing the thing for this like the whole like back half of that game, and it made the enemies interactions like very, I guess like all very samey. Like it was always, hey,
Hmm.
hit enemy, burrow, go behind them, and then hit them again until they turn around type thing for me.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that because I did kind of like I very rarely changed like my play style. Like I barely, I don't know. I like the whip, and I kind of stuck with the whip, and I tried experimenting with the other weapons, but none of them kind of felt right.
I started with the whip, and then I transitioned to the twin daggers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you found that better?
I found that better than the whip because, like, I found while the whip has like very nice range to it, a nice thing about the daggers that I think they don't like bring up, and you kind of have to notice it on your own, is that every time you hit the enemy, it slightly bounces you backwards. So any enemies that rush you, you kind of just like stay in sync with their walking, and you just like, you know,
so you're naturally moving back.
Yeah, you're naturally moving back against them, and it felt like very good.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And it's like,
I should have experimented.
Yeah, and it's like upgrade skill is just basically like a dash, like a gap closer, I guess. So it kind of like solves a lot of its problems.
Okay, yeah, I should have done it. I should have experimented when I got it to the max rank, but I think I tried the blaster.
Yeah, the blaster was
a lot of people were saying the blaster's good. Oh, sorry.
I found the blaster a little bit weird. Like its ammo upkeep situation, I found kind of odd.
I didn't like. Yeah. I liked when I had ammo, but then when I ran out of ammo and I had to like get in, and I know that's the point of the weapon. I know the point is like to like make it balanced, so you have to go in and like do melee attacks. But
yeah,
I felt like when I kind of had to go in there, I was taking more hits than I wasn't. So I was like, I might as well just go back to the whip where it's like more consistent.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there was that risk reward thing that I could kind of just like opt out by choosing a different weapon. So I was like, I don't really see the point of this.
I liked the shield for a while, but it just felt so slow because it's so much based around the parry that you had to really wait for enemies to attack to like really, you know, put out the big damage hits. And I don't know, I conceptually liked playing it, but it made the game like very, very slow.
Yeah. Okay. And like, I don't know, like how much weight I should put into the story in terms of a game that is clearly probably like focused more so on gameplay. But there's things about the story that confuse me. Because I'm not sure how obvious it was supposed to be who the main actual bad guy is. Because it in parts of the story kind of try to make it a twist, but then parts of the story are like very clearly like, hey, this is actually the main bad guy. Like, you know, it's very clear from like day one of like who the actual bad guy is. Yeah. But then they kind of do that twist of like, it's actually me all along, and it's like, okay, like, but we kind of knew that. You were kind of obvious about that.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of framed as a twist, and then that is weird because it's very incongruous to me, and at least in my opinion, to the actual ending. Because, and not to spoil anything, but the actual ending is very like, it kind of ends on like a more so of a downer. Not to like super spoil it. It kind of ends on a downer. It kind of ends on like a not a very like optimistic kind of ending, which maybe is a callback to like Link's Awakening, because Link's Awakening also kind of ends on a bit of a downer. When that is kind of like the main inspiration for the game. But like at the same time, it's like, I feel like when it comes to stories that try to subvert expectations of like, you know, like I feel like you have to kind of set up that subversion, but like the game doesn't really set up a subversion because up until the actual ending, it's a very rote, like good guy fighting bad guy kind of story. So I'm like, I don't know, like story beats, like this isn't the strongest, but I don't know how much weight I should put into that, because at the same time, I'm not sure if that is kind of the focus for like a lot of these gameplay focused games. So I don't know, maybe that's just me being like pedantic, but I don't know.
I overall did find the story kind of weird as well, especially like the way that the reveal happens at the end just felt so arbitrary to me.
I agree.
But I don't know. Like a little bit of the I like it that they keep track of candlesticks at the ending. I thought that was like a funny
move. It is fun. Like there is like a fun aspect to it of like your, again, not to get too into it, but like your sins, quote unquote. And there have been like on the subreddit, there have been people who have done like no sin runs kind of thing.
I'm surprised that you can do that.
You can, and you have to get like really creative with it in some aspects. So people have been like trying to figure out, because like I think in the past few days people have been trying to figure out like, because there's some stuff that people thought was like, this is impossible to
not do,
but then people ended up finding out like, okay, there is actually like this roundabout way that you can do this. So yeah, like if you want to, like afterwards, like you can look up, like there has been a lot of conversations about ways to kind of go around like not committing that sin, quote unquote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man,
But
it sounds like a beefy boy game, friends.
Jaren, I think you might enjoy playing it like once you get back. Okay, the opening of this game is like, I think Breath of the Wild opening level, like difficult, because you have like no tool.
Oh yeah.
But
it's harder in the beginning.
But
once you beat the first boss, like it's weird to say, but that very first boss.
Where'd you go first, actually? For your first? Oh, actually, no. The first boss is like, yeah, never mind. The first boss is on a set path. Never mind.
Yeah, and it has two forms for some reason, which like I expected, because the first boss had two like forms, all other bosses are gonna have two forms. But like all the dungeon bosses only had one form, so I was like, I don't know why the first boss had two forms. I guess they just put like a gap in the beginning. But once you kind of get past that first boss, the game is kind of like pretty. It's not as challenging as like that first few hours, I don't think.
I found it a little bit more challenging after that, once I got to like elite enemies for a while, but like I just like bashed my head against it for a while until I was better with it. Where did you go first for the dungeons? Because like in this game, it's like that kind of game where you can tackle it in any order.
I followed the order of the newspaper.
I thought the newspaper is set, isn't it? Or no?
I could be wrong, but I think it like hints at if you read the newspaper, like one of the news stories hints at like a problem with one of the worlds.
Yes, you're right, yeah.
And if I could be wrong, but if you follow the newspaper order, it is the same order that if you examine the fountain in the the town hall, it kind of gives you a set order as well. So I followed that set order because I figured, like, I know the game wants me to kind of like explore and stuff, but like I feel like there is kind of a set order. Like, for example, the astral, like that last dungeon you were talking about, the astral one, like you can't get to it unless you've done other dungeons first. So I feel like there was a set idea, even though they want you to kind of like explore. So I just followed that set, and I found the progression was pretty natural following that.
Okay.
Did you like go out of order? Like what was?
Well, yeah, I didn't notice that order, so like I don't know exactly what that order is. I just ended up kind of starting at the crypt and then kind of just working my way clockwise.
That's me too. Crypt.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That game is like good. You can really break that game at some point. Jared, I think you'll enjoy hearing that. I think
yes.
What's
all you need to say for me to get interest, but I don't know, the way you guys are describing it, especially towards that end. You boys, I'm a sweet baby boy when it comes to video games. Where, to be honest, though, since we're kind of Zelda adjacent right now, I did buy those Switch 2 upgrades for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And
nice.
I've been watching my partner play Tears of the Kingdom. She just started over again because we're playing on... We only have one Switch 2, and we uploaded the data from my original Switch. That means she lost her save data from her... Well, she didn't lose it, but I'm not sure if we can port that over. But at the same time, she's already kind of so far gone where she just wanted to start all over again. And, yep, that's a... Boys... Seeing Tears of the Kingdom kind of not chug in areas where I'm so used to it chugging is pretty surreal, is all I'm going to say. But, I had that glitched Master Sword that doesn't break, where I'm curious to see if that still plays on my Switch 2 updated file. So I'll report back to you at some time. But, yeah, Mina the Hollower, available now. You got... Julian, you said you probably wouldn't replay this again. Matt, how about you? Where do you kind of stand now that you finished the game recently? Is this something you can see yourself going back to? Or
I mean, I don't replay video games, Jared. You know, I played them once, and I'm
that's fair.
But I don't know. It is a game that I would suggest to people that I think would.
I would too. I would recommend it. Like at least one playthrough isn't entertaining enough.
I think there's a lot of like we were saying, there's a lot of like points of friction, and I think this game comes with modifiers that you can just like put in, and if you don't care about achievements, like I think adding some of those quality of life modifiers in would be like really, really suggested.
Okay, it's all about the experience, not the achievements, boys. Even though I'm trying to grind out achievements in a lot of the games I played, but yeah, Mina the Hollower available now, but. As much as we love Mina here on the Mistake Zone, that's not the reason we all came together here in the Saturday Morning Arcade Clubhouse this week. Because, boys, it's the Summer Games Fest season. It's, one of 3 times a year where Mr. Keeley essentially celebrates video games. And, boys, I think SGF has gone long enough where... I think anyone calling it not E3 season is millennials that are washed, such as us. So this is Summer Games Fest. Today we'll be kind of going through the Sony State of Play and the main show, the Summer Games Fest, with the Xbox Direct happening probably right after we record this episode, and rumored Nintendo Direct early next week, but by the time you hear this episode, I think everything will be in our review. But mainly focusing on the State of Play and Summer Games Fest. Matt, how do you feel that no one put in any Fantasy Critic bids this week after these 2 shows?
I mean, okay, so the only thing that we would have been able to put bids on is the Sony State of Play stuff.
That is true.
And I think anything that was already in Sony State of Play were things that we had already known. I think other than God of War, were there any like new announcements?
Not that caught me off guard.
Until Dawn 2, I guess, would be like another big IP surprise.
Wasn't that
Is that 2026 though? Because I think a lot...
Yes, you're right, 2027.
A lot of the new things that were announced were 2027 bound. Right. I don't know about you guys, but for some reason, I was hoping, between right now Summer Games Fest and the Sony State of Play, I was kind of hoping for a lot more announcements to help round out the fall, even though the looming threat, quote-unquote threat of Grand Theft Auto is in the distance. I was still hoping for something to kind of, just round out those months. And I know one of the big things coming out of at least the Sony State of Play was a lot of the games that have been previously announced that did get release dates are falling within that late September, early October timeframe, which, again, is... Even though you're trying to step out of the way of Grand Theft Auto, all of a sudden you're now stepping on everyone else's toes, which is going to be interesting to say the least, to see, what is able to push through everything, all these different titles coming out at the same time. But to start off looking at our Fantasy Critic, Matt, are you going to drop your... I shouldn't say are you going to. I wonder if you can drop your Monster Hunter Wilds Ascendance pick, because that got a 2027 drop. I know we're going to go show by show, but just starting off, Matt, Monster Hunter Wilds finally announced its first DLC expansion. We got to see the 2027. A lot of color, I would say, in that trailer, as opposed to kind of the bit darker tone for the base game, I would say. We got some new hairstyles for Gemma especially, but Matt, how did you feel about the reveal of the Monster Hunter Wilds Ascendance DLC?
I mean, I'm looking forward to those rocket arms and making everything attack fast, and I'm not looking forward to the, I guess, monsters adapting, and now we have to be fast no matter what, because if we get a speed upgrade, that means they get a speed upgrade.
Matt, as someone who likes to turtle behind a shield and poke with a pole arm, Do you think this DLC will be for me?
I mean, I think so. Usually the Jaren, Lance is always solid. No matter how quickly they attack you're always going to be blocking anyway. All you need to do is one poke and you're good.
I believe in our Lance Queen Eofi, so I will also step into battle under that flag. But yeah, Matt, with this DLC, is there anything that you're kind of hoping from it, whether it's been already announced or teased, or just general what you want to see out of this big expansion, just kind of based on your original experience with the game that you're hoping will be, more fleshed out or added, or just to make that overall experience a lot more fulfilling?
I don't know. I can't really think of anything specific. I thought Wilds had looking back on it now, was generally very quality of life friendly for the player in comparison to older Monster Hunter games. And when I think of things to be added, I really am just thinking of older Monster Hunter features that aren't in the game already. So stuff like I don't know, like being able to have switchable attack loadouts, or even though everything's kind of preset for weapons. I know. What do you call it? Rise let you change your some attacks out for other attacks, and I don't know. I think that'd be cool to see in Wilds, but I think that was mostly because it was the Nintendo Switch game, and they let you switch attacks,
right?
And that was their gimmick. But I don't know. It's more so about I guess for me, returning monsters. I would love to see I guess going back to the Switch game again, because it was a Switch game, it had a more cel shady style to it, whereas Wilds has a more realistic style. So I'd like to see Magnamalo was the name of the cover monster for the Nintendo Switch game, and I'd like to see that in a realistic graphic style.
Okay, fair. And of course, this is a 2027 drop. Matt, when do you think this actually comes out?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was again spring, or basically a year from now, man. I'm tilted. I'm tilted on this Fantasy Critic pick that for the past I want to say 4 Monster Hunter games, they've been very consistent about releasing the expansion
within the year.
Yeah. So I can't believe GTA did this to me.
Can't believe it. Still haunting you. But speaking about dates that were confirmed that might screw up some Fantasy Critic picks, I know Rakush isn't here to discuss it, but Stranger of Heaven had its release date announced. But Julian, that wasn't the only thing announced during this presentation. Stranger Than Heaven will release the 15th of January 2027. And also appearing in this game is the likeness of the deceased rapper. I was going to say late rapper, but I think when you say late, that has a recency to it. Yeah. So let's just say that, unfortunately, not with us anymore. Tupac will be in this game in some capacity. And Julian, I know with video game likenesses in terms of that historic contents, we have the Assassin's Creed games that have all these different historical figures. And even with RGG Studios, this isn't the first time they've had late Japanese actors have their likeness within the game. But I think from a Western perspective, especially someone who kind of grew up with their music, to kind of see Tupac out there and, Snoop Dogg kind of almost in some ways parade it, for lack of a better term. Julian, how do you feel about estates licensing out the likenesses of deceased for media like this?
I mean, I feel like I should be outraged, and there is a level of it, 100% of this weird. We've gotten to a point in media where it's a weird parade of corpses, pretty much. At this point, right? I think that's the term of phrase a lot of people put towards. There's that Flash movie with a few years back where they brought back a ton of deceased actors who played Superman and Flash and all that in the past.
Oh
Yeah, because it was like a multiverse movie, so they brought in like it was like quote unquote their way of like celebrating them, but again, it is like this weird thing of like kind of taking likenesses. And on top of like that idea of likenesses, and this is a question that I'm not sure if there is an answer to yet, like are they going to do AI voice for this Tupac, like virtual Tupac? Because there has been, and again, it's like there's this aspect of me that's like I should be outraged, and I probably am on some level if I really sit down on it and like think about it. But at the same time, it's like this is so normalized now, I feel that it's like it's not even a surprise anymore, because there have been like hologram Tupacs at like concerts now, right? Like that has been a thing. So like what is like this just feels like a continued step of that. I feel like at the end of the day, unfortunately, like we've kind of like capitalized like people at this point, right? Like if you have created like some form of legacy, like at this point, like it doesn't really end with your death anymore. If you have an estate that kind of owns your likeness, that kind of owns your catalog, they are going to want to continue making money off of you. And it's like it's this weird like puppeteering of like who you were as a person. And I'm sure at some point like we're gonna see media address this in like some weird like thematic ways of like when do you actually lose kind of humanity, and at what point is like capitalism kind of just like taking your aspects and kind of like packaging it and reselling it to people. I don't know.
I think I haven't seen anything where somebody who owns the, I guess, like likeness of somebody who's died has used the likeness outside of I want to say almost like not nostalgia-esque actually, more so a cameo-esque way. Like even with like Tupac performing at like it was like Coachella where they had virtual Tupac, I think
so, yeah, like some big festival like that.
Like he was like
Drake used AI Tupac for
okay. Got messy.
Okay.
That's transformative.
Okay, yeah, that I was gonna say, like I feel like it's weird if you make them make new content. That's I think like where the weird thing happens. Like, do you think Tupac's gonna have a song on the Stranger Than Heaven?
That's the thing, though, right? Like, is it because it is like, and again, they haven't really been. Maybe intentionally, they haven't really been privy to like what extent virtual Tupac is gonna be in this game.
Yeah,
like, is he just gonna be someone you talk to? A big thing of this game is that idea of like music, right? Like they are kind of like, so is he gonna be like a backing vocals on something? Is that backing vocal gonna be something that is an existing catalog? Is it gonna be AI? Like what are they gonna do with it? And it's like I don't know, like I guess like they might be cagey, because I know a lot of people have started to kind of turn the tide on using a lot of like AI to kind of bring back like human and artistry. So I don't know.
I think I think how do you guys feel if it was something like Tupac does a song in Japanese? Do you think that's like too crazy? Like doing something
that'd be too
definitely couldn't do in real life.
That would be really icky. That would be really icky for me personally.
Jaren,
and where
I can't remember if you answered this when I sent it to you. But like Jaren, what do you think about Ado featuring Tupac?
Oh man, where honestly, if Snoop Dogg is in the Death Row's vault and he found a unreleased Tupac verse, I think that's the only way I can kind of quote unquote sign off on this without feeling super icky about it. But I think I'm still trying to kind of sort my feelings on this, just because again, there is precedent from the RGG studios of using, the likenesses of deceased actors in, from Japanese media in their games before. And again, as someone who is kind of disconnected from those releases, from those works of art, I think that doesn't do anything for me. Same with the Assassin's Creed example of, they're using these historical figures in these modern contexts. And, arguably so, those are just as icky as this could potentially be. But at the same time, I'm so far removed from those people who are legends at this point where it's kind of gross to say these legendary figures are almost public domain in a way. And I know that doesn't feel great to say, but I think with the recency bias of just knowing who Tupac is, knowing his career and his tragic end, I think that's where seeing the reception as well, I think that's where a lot of people are hung up on of, okay, this is someone they know of at the very least, and that's where it gets a bit dicey for them. And if you were to say this was just like a cameo appearance, the licensed his likeness, and he appeared in the background at some point, nothing announced beforehand, and this becomes a thing of, wait, was that Tupac? In January when people are playing this game for the first time. Was that Tupac?
That'd be a really good joke.
But I think it's the fact that it's being, I don't want to say exploited, but it's almost like it's being exploited on Summer Games Fest.
Like at the end.
He's being paraded out there. You have Jeff Keighley kind of laughing about it, asking Snoop Dogg, was that Tupac? What's going on there? Where it's not... Remember that one episode of The Mistake Zone where we talked about Black Mirror Future Tech? This is Black Mirror Future Tech at its finest. And I don't know, I think it's just that parading of Tupac that, to Julian's point, makes me kind of glad I'm not famous in any capacity because, boy, that would suck to kind of just be treated as a puppet in that way where... Yeah, I don't know. There is precedent for this stuff in video games already, but at the same time, I think this is the first time I've actually sat down and thought, wow, this doesn't feel great. And, that might be a fault of mine for not really being considerate of all the previous examples before or knowledgeable about the previous examples from RGG Studios. So I don't know. It's dicey for me, to say the least. What's up, Julian?
Because I guess for me, like, the big thing is, like, this idea of, I get on a certain level, when you get to a certain level of fame, there is an idea of, like, who you are as a person then becomes kind of like the product, right? It becomes a commodity. Like, it is, like, your likeness, your kind of, like, style, the art you put out. There is a feeling that as you are a celebrity, people are the one that kind of uplift you, therefore people own on some level or feel like they have ownership towards you as a person or you as a likeness or you as the persona you put on. But I think my big sticking point is this maybe it isn't, but just this idea of really kind of like this obsession I feel with not really being able to move past certain things and let new things flourish. Like it's like this idea of like, so James Earl Jones kind of gave permission for Disney to continue to use AI to kind of preserve his voice in order to use for like Star Wars projects. But there are a lot of people who are able to kind of also, kind of like either mimic that voice or maybe like even like the idea of like maybe even creating or bringing something new into, I don't know. It's this weird thing where I just feel like we're kind of like plateauing, where now we're kind of just like this obsession of like, we have created this catalog of people and like this catalog of culture, and like we're gonna use AI and everything and technology to just continue to rehash it and bring it up. And like, I think my fear is that kind of prevents anything new from kind of coming up. Like it'll kind of prevent like this obsession with like, this isn't the Star Wars I know or the Star Wars I grew up with, therefore no other Star Wars can exist. like as an example. And it's like this thing of like there's no more expiry on certain things. And I don't know, I guess this is a larger conversation, but it is kind of like very, very tied to this whole idea, I think. And I don't know. Again, there's a lot of grappling with the feelings of what that is, and I know there's nothing we can really do to stop it. At some point, it is just old man yelling at a cloud.
Yeah.
Yelling at the cloud,
but
Julian.
I don't
Yelling
know.
at the cloud.
Man, Julian, when you mentioned James Earl Jones, all I could think about was last year when that AI Darth Vader was in Fortnite for a hot second, and that wasn't great. But actually, I know we're supposed to go show by show, but to kind of jump off your point, let's go to the second last announcement at Summer Games Fest, where we have the new Street Fighter 6 DLC, where, of course, the rumors that...
Is someone AI in there, Jaren?
Not AI, but bear with me for a second, Matt. So we have 4 new characters for Season 4. The biggest one being Tifa from Final Fantasy VII will be the guest character coming to Street Fighter 6. But she's joined by 3 new original characters. We have Bosch, who was a NPC character from the single-player World Tour mode, your kind of friend-rival. We have Arjan, and boys, we have the new Filipino gaming princess, Yasmin, also in the game. But the reason I bring up the fact that this DLC, based on Julian's point just now, you have 3 original characters plus 1 guest character, and that's kind of your season for the rest of the year. And Street Fighter only gets 4 characters per year, and that's how it's been for the last kind of 3 years now. And the reception to this roster of new characters has been mixed, to say the least, just because when you have a fighting game that is, to your point, Julian, built on these legacy characters after all these decades, where you have so many fan favorites that people want to see in their most latest installment, and then just to see 3 brand new characters and then 1 guest character all of a sudden just turns I don't want to say majority of players, but a good portion of the community, pretty sour and being vocal about still wanting to go back to some of their past favorites. And I guess kind of to what you were saying before, Julian, what do you think of Capcom using this season's pass that is for, arguably being lifted by Tifa to bring out 3 new characters as opposed to kind of, returning to the well? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh, okay. I thought your thing was like people were going to complain that there wasn't enough like cameo characters. Because I know, like, I don't know, like maybe I'm just thinking about Smash here, but like the Smash industry of like everyone wanting third-party cameo characters. But to your point, I think, I don't know. I mean, I feel like original characters is a good thing, and I feel like I get everyone kind of has that idea of like they want their favorite back.
Yeah.
And if their favorite isn't there, like, yeah, that sucks 100%. But like, I don't know, if again it's this thing of like you're just kind of continuously returning to the well, and it's like, isn't it a good thing to like try new things? Like, isn't that kind of like
I think that 3 new characters in a 4-character DLC is kind of
might be a lot
wild, though. Yeah, like I think maybe if you're doing like a 4-character DLC, it's 1 new character and then like 1 guest and 2 returning. Right. Like, I think that is probably the best
that
thing.
might be a balance.
Like, I think that if you're going to debut a new character, it should be in the base roster for the most part.
But how were the past ones? Like, how's the balance? Were they all returning characters in the past, or is this the first time they're kind of doing new characters? I guess like contextually, what's the balance here? Is my thing, because if it is like Matt is saying, if this is the first time they're kind of doing like all 3. And in the past they had a lot of returning, then maybe it's a bit better. But if it
it does depend on context.
Yeah.
Right. So for year 1 we had Aki was the new character. And we had returning characters Rashid, I believe from 5, Ed from 5, and Akuma, being Akuma.
Mm-hmm.
Year 2, we had M. Bison, we had Elena from 3, and then we had Terry and Mai from Final Fight. For year 3, we had Sagat, Sea Viper, Alex, and Ingrid. And then for year 4, we had the 3 new characters and then Tifa. So I think it was mostly we only technically had one original character in Aki, and then we had 2 guest characters.
I feel like contextually it's fine. Yeah, like if you put it that way, like contextually, I mean, maybe the better output would have been to spread these 3 new characters out between like all the other previous years to kind of like have that balance that Matt talked about. But if you take it as a whole contextually, where it's pretty much every single passes were returning characters, I feel like some new characters wouldn't go astray.
I think from my standpoint, what quote unquote hurts the most about this is with the release of Ingrid, with Ingrid's inclusion in the World Tour mode, which is that single player mode, as I mentioned before, she served as an epilogue, and they kind of announced that there would be no new World Tour content coming forward to the game. And then you have this new season, which is 4 new characters for 3 brand new characters that won't have any integration, what it seems like no integration into World Tour. And then also there's apparently no new stages coming with this season as well, which boys, that shrinkflation seems really real right now, where I think there's just that gross aspect of, wow, they are really leaning on Tifa hard to hard sell this season, and there is that part of me that goes, oh, how much are they trying to get away with, just considering how big Tifa is as a character in popular culture. But I guess we'll see about that. And I think what also hurts the community is, boys, there was a rumor like a few weeks leading up to SGF that the next season from a leaker who provided content, who leaked announcements for Tokon and the previous season of Street Fighter, that the season 4 roster was going to be Tifa, Vega, Mike Hager, and Gouken. So, people love Vega, so to see no Vega, and of course the Makoto fans go hard. So I think, it's just this idea of building expectations on leaks, and when you like something so much, when you've invested so much time into that one character, you kind of want to see them come back. But I
mean, I'm sympathetic to that 100%. It's just
shout out Tifa though. Tekken fans in ruins right now, but
maybe Jaren, maybe the Tekken fans can still get Tifa,
maybe. But boys,
maybe.
we've been at it for a bit heavier, so let's kind of do some quick hits throughout. Starting with the Sony State of Play, we started off with a look at Marvel's Wolverine. I know they mentioned that this will come out the 15th of September, a more linear single-player experience. Matt, was this everything you expected out of the Wolverine showcase, or were there any surprises here for you?
Honestly, okay, this is gonna sound really stupid. I kind of wanted the Wolverine showcase to be really janky, because I was thinking about the... You remember when that Wolverine movie leaked that wasn't complete?
The unreal, the leaked one.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I really wanted it to be like that. But I mean, this looks like this is a game that I think looks good, but I don't really have a interest in playing.
Fair.
Yeah.
Julian, with this showcase, we saw him teaming up with Jean Grey for a minute. Just from where you're sitting, how much of those team up set pieces do you feel like will be in this game, and is there a particular team up you wouldn't mind seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how deep they'll go into team ups, but the Spider-Man ones didn't really team up outside of Spider-Man properties, so it'll probably just be a bunch of other X-Men. But from what I read, apparently in the universe the X-Men don't exist in this universe, or they don't exist yet. He's part of a different thing of saving mutants, other mutants and stuff. But apparently the X-Men haven't formally I mean, I could be wrong, but this is what I read. They haven't formally kind of formed yet. So I'm wondering if they are setting up him encountering other X-Men adjacent people and then like eventually lead to them actually forming. But yeah, I'm curious like how that would go for sure. But he is in the costume, which is weird.
Yeah. I kind of just assumed
for a person not in the X-Men yet. He's wearing the X-Men uniform. So yeah, I'm curious where it'll go.
Yeah, it did look cool, like as bloody as I thought it was going to be, but some of those animations were really nice. And yeah, I'm really curious to see how much more team ups will be. Just give me more Psylocke because I'm a Psylocke simp. Moving on, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls coming out August 6th. We knew that already, but they announced the Knights of Doom and three new characters to their base roster, including, we know Dr. Doom, but also the game will include Magneto, shout out the New York Knicks, and not necessarily first timers, but we have Green Goblin and Carnage coming to the game as well. Matt, how do you think Green Goblin and Carnage looked in gameplay?
I like how they look. I like I really overall just in general Tokon's style is just like very good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Carnage made it, but I'm happy Carnage made it. But like yeah, like, I think this thing is a very good villains roster that they decided to throw together.
Right.
They're like both Spider-Man villain reps, though, isn't that kind of?
Oh yeah, that's
like
true.
for a fighting game that's supposed to be very like Marvel. I feel like it's weird that it's two Spider-Man villain reps. Like I feel like one of them should be either a Fantastic Four or an Avenger villain.
Who's a Fantastic Four villain that has like enough clout to be put into the game?
Oh, I guess Doom would be the Fantastic
Four.
Yeah. I'm like, oh wait, the main guy.
I was gonna be like Super Skrull, I guess.
Mole
but
Man?
Yeah. But yeah, I guess Dr. Doom, very technically. Julian, we have one more team, the Ghost Rider team, to be announced so far. Of course, that will have Ghost Rider. Apparently, Scarlet Witch might also be part of that squad. Julian, what other two characters do you want to see team up with Ghost Rider for this game to round out the roster?
Wait, if that's the case, is it not just the Midnight Suns or no?
Yeah, could probably see the Midnight Suns being it.
Yeah, in that case, it would probably be like either Moon Knight or who else is in the Midnight Suns? Blade? Is Blade in the game?
Oh man, I hope they put Blade in this fucking game.
It's probably gonna be Blade, but yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure when they'll announcement, but this game is coming out real soon in less than 2 months. So one more announcement left to see.
Do you know if they're adding like DLC characters or no?
They probably will, but I think is that part of the like. There's probably going to be a season pass. I'm not sure if that's in the collector's edition or the deluxe edition, maybe included, but I can see at least four more characters to round out one additional team. So yeah, I can definitely see that be Midnight Suns adjacent and hope our boy Blade will be there as well. Matt, from the Sony State of Play, anything to catch your attention?
I mean, Jaren, of course, there was Kemuri, which I believe we thought was just in dev hell for forever.
Guys, can I be real that you know me, I've watched a lot. I love me a good reaction to the Sony State of Play. And when Kemuri came out on screen and we got to see our first look at gameplay, boys, I did see a lot of people think, oh, is this a new free-to-play game? Is this a new gacha game? Just because if I had to be 100% honest, I love the style to this game. I love the whole concept, but there's something kind of off about the gameplay being presented. And I don't want to necessarily say jank, but it wasn't as fluid as I was kind of expecting it to be, where it did give off, if I had to be 100% honest, free-to-play gacha vibes for the most part. And then when, the logo dropped and then we saw Ikumi Nakamura come out to reveal the game, everyone seeing Ikumi was like, oh, it's her game. Maybe this has a chance. Where there was something about having her be attached to the gameplay that I did notice a 180 take on it, which I thought was kind of weird. But Matt, as something we've been taught when this was first teased, when the cinematic came out at the TGAs a few years ago. This was definitely something at least I was anticipating. But to kind of see it for the first time in action, what were you thinking about Kemuri?
I'll be honest, I don't know what the gameplay could have been to make it seem really like interesting to me, but the gameplay did seem a little bit more bland than I was expecting. I think maybe I'm just too I guess like spoiled, for lack of a better word here, by the over the topness of animations in ZZZ, that this kind of looks similar-ish in gameplay style. Like it is I don't know if you're handling the whole team, because I know it did say, hey, there's like 3-player co-op, but I'm wondering if you're not playing in co-op, do you control 3 characters type thing? But it did look a little bit more bland than I was expecting. But I don't know. I think there's still a lot of room for it to be, very, very interesting. But I do have a bit more of a cautious eye on this now than because, okay, Jaren, when did this initially get announced? Was it really that long ago?
So it was initially revealed in 2023, and then the first gameplay trailer debuting this month. So
yeah, that is like a long enough time where I'm like, is this going to be good? Because I feel like anything that, and I guess it's not really like the fault of like the game itself, but when you have a very long time between announcement and like first gameplay reveal, it always makes me feel very iffy on if the game is going to be good, because I feel like that much like the longer your dev time is, the less faith I have in or I guess it's not longer dev time, the longer you exist in the public eye without being a thing, the more I feel iffy on if you're going to be a good product. And
it's hard these days, boys, just because game development is taking so much longer. Again, it's one of those, before these 2 shows came up, the thought was, are we going to finally see more intergalactic? Just because I feel like a lot of studios are, and then maybe this is on the publisher, maybe this is just to get funding to, build up your dev team. Like, I understand all that stuff. But kind of just as a person who loves video games, just as a casual fan, it is, I don't want to say, okay, it is annoying to see something so hyped be revealed and hear crickets for the next, at this point, 5 years now. And you don't really know what's going to happen. And for the most part, when Kemuri was initially revealed, for all we know, there probably wasn't even a full development team at that point as well. So it's really hard to kind of comment on it. But I get where you're coming from, Matt, and I do agree where when you are looking forward to something and it is kind of going in and out of your mind share, to kind of see it at this point still feel a bit early, it is hard not to look at it with a bit more skepticism than you want to. But again, style looks great. That giant skeleton looked cool, but at the same time, yeah, I hope that when we see more of it, it becomes a bit more tight. But Julian, did you have any thoughts on Kemuri?
No, I actually fell into the whole, like what you said earlier, where people thought it was one of those gotcha free to plays until I got into it more, and I was like, oh wait, this isn't one of those.
It's cool because I don't know, I think it looks cool. I just hope it gets tightened up. But Julian, we'll still get to that Silent Hill episode eventually. But what did you think of our another look at Silent Hill Townfall during the state of play?
I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I mean, it looks like they're doing their own thing. It looks like, but while still kind of being tied to Silent Hill. I am locking in my theory that it is all going to be about sickness, and like that personal sickness of the main character is going to tie into like a sickness in the town, quote unquote, that'll cause like the townfall, quote unquote. But I am curious how it's going to go. It is a first person, I think, so it is going to be interesting because Silent Hill historically has been third person. So I'm kind of curious how they're gonna play around with that. It does look spooky. The monster design I'm liking. A lot of it does seem to kind of once again tie into that, like, I feel like that like degradation of like the body situation. I feel like they're kind of playing around with that. Um, so I'm curious where it'll go. So far they've been on a pretty good roll in my opinion. Like Silent Hill 2 remake was done like that felt impossible at the time, but I think that was done really well. Silent Hill F I really liked as a spin of Silent Hill outside of the Western kind of like sphere. And I'm curious, like, because this is gonna be the first original game in a while that is gonna kind of be returning to kind of that Western sphere that like the early Silent Hills are kind of like take a lot of their like style and a lot of their stories from. So yeah, curious how it's gonna go, but pretty optimistic about it, I think.
Yeah, I think something about this trailer made it seem like 100 times more scary than what I'm used to from Silent Hill F. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'm a big baby towards this, but also kind of showing off this, we got another look at Control Resonant. Julian, how are you feeling about Control?
Yeah, it looks good. I'm gonna be like a little weird and say like I'm disappointed that there's a character switch because I really like Jesse in Control 1. But I'm curious. They are showing Jesse more in the trailer, so I am wondering if they are gonna do a dual protagonist, but maybe they won't. Maybe they will just stick with the brother. I'm forgetting his name right now, but it looks nice stylistically. I'm glad I think they pushed the release date, right? Because it used to be December, but now it's like September.
Yep, September 24th. A lot of games coming out in that September week, and again, it's gonna be rough out there, especially for your game time. But yeah, this is looking good as well. One thing that stood out to me was a new Stuntman Hollywood. Just to see it using licensed game properties, and the previous Stuntman games, they had their parodies, and just to kind of see it full on adapting these known iconic film cars and film scenes. I think the Stuntman games have had a special place in my heart. All these driving mission type things, and kind of to see them come back in 2026 is pretty surreal as well. Though when they did start off with that Fast and Furious Super, I thought this was just going to be a new Fast and Furious game. So I was pleasantly surprised that Hitman is back. Julian, Matt, did you guys play any of the Stuntman games growing up?
I did not.
Yeah. When was the last one?
Years now, decades maybe at this point, to be completely
like
honest.
Early 2000s, right? Or
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like it was a while ago, I think.
I just remember some of the missions being really difficult, and me being a youth and just gripping my PlayStation 2 controller in rage because I was so mad that I couldn't do something.
Because like the gameplay for that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like you had to do specific, like it's not like Burnout where you can just do whatever. It's like you had to do very specific like stunts, which I guess makes sense because that's the point, like Stuntman. But like you had to like hit like specific like ramps, hit specific like things. Like, is that right? Like I feel like that's a weird like thing I'm remembering.
No, it is really mission based. You are trying to be a stuntman and do the specific mission criteria to make sure your scene goes or complete the scene. And I'm really curious, when you have all of these licenses for all these different properties, are you going, one-to-one? Where are we going just to see straight up missions from the first Fast and Furious at this point? And I think that's what I'm most curious to see out of the game.
If they're setting you up to steal VCRs, that'd be fucking crazy.
That'd be great. That would be great. We also got to see more of Onimusha, Way of the Sword. That's coming up September 25th. Matt, did Onimusha do anything for you this during the showcase?
I mean, not really. I was like, I guess, happy to see it, but it does exist in that place where it's like, okay, I'm kind of just like waiting for this game to come out to see if it'll live up to what it's trying to be.
Demo now available on Steam. I know I have it downloaded, but didn't really get a chance to play it. So something I'm going to look forward to as well. Julian, you mentioned it before. Until Dawn 2 was announced for 2027. Were you a fan of the first Until Dawn, Julian?
Yeah, I liked Until Dawn, and then I tried every single well, not every single. I kind of like fell off, but I tried like all their other games afterwards, and it's weird that Until Dawn is still kind of like their best game.
Right.
But this one's done by a different like developer, I think,
Mm-hmm.
than the original Until Dawn. So I mean, we'll see. It has a bunch of big actors in it, I think.
Yeah. How did you feel about just what was shown, just character wise, some of the themes, some of the just the current vibe of the game?
I don't know. I mean, like they're playing up the youth kind of characters being like maybe a bit like insufferable, and as like I don't know. I guess they're kind of like supposed to be, which is fine. But then there's a sense of like if you overdo that, like then you kind of won't care for them like surviving maybe in terms of like the game. So I don't know, maybe they'll balance it well, because there is in the first Until Dawn there is kind of like there were characters that you would argue started out as pretty like not great, but then they kind of have a character arc throughout the game, where you end up kind of being like, okay, like I'm now invested in seeing this character survive. So hopefully they kind of do that same thing here.
Matt, before we get to what ended the show, is there anything else from the state of play that caught your attention?
I mean, Jaren, it wasn't that it caught my attention specifically, but I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Pink Hero Waifu in what is the Ace Combat?
Really glad I bid on that in Fantasy Critic. Not ashamed per se, but screenshots were shared while watching that trailer is all I'm going to say. But that game looks cool. Really looking forward to Ace Combat, just because, sometimes I like to be in the sky shooting down other planes as a form of escapism. And if I have a pink-haired friend by my side, you know how that goes. But the game ended off on a 20-minute showcase of God of War. I believe it's Laufey, not Laufey.
Yes.
Luffy. God of War Luffy.
God of War Laufey. Julian, you sent me the TikTok of the God of War Laufey footage, which was just Fortnite footage on top of the soundtrack, which I got a good laugh at. But yep, so this was a deep dive, kind of reminiscent of that 20-minute showcase when I believe it was the original God of War, not the original God of War, but
like the 2018 one,
yeah, the 2018 when that was first revealed. But this showcased Kratos's second wife, mother of Atreus, and a giant jelly cube sidekick friend, and a sword with that talked. So Julian, are you a fan of what is current God of War, and did this do anything for you?
Yeah, like I really like the I guess you would say like reboot, quote unquote, but it's not really a reboot, it's a continuation. I really liked it. I played the 2018 one. I played Ragnarok. I really liked it. I really liked what they did with Kratos' story. Where they actually gave him a character, because in the original, I mean, I guess you could easily argue he did have a character in the third one, in the original trilogy as well, but he was just very like angry person. And he did have an arc. Like I don't want to discount that for sure, but he had much more of a kind of a growth. It is like that. I know people joke about those games being like Dad of War and more so, but I like that arc of him kind of learning with Atreus, of like kind of building that relationship, and him, especially in Ragnarok, that idea of like him kind of having to grow as a person. So on some level, Kratos also kind of had to learn how to like let go, kind of thing, and etc. etc. So I'm curious what they're gonna do with this one. I'm really liking the concept of it. I wasn't picking up on it in the trailer, but I read about it after the fact. But because I was like, what gods are these, when they kind of showed up? And the first god is the god of war of Mongolian religion, and the other lady that showed up, the other god that showed up, was the god of war of Egypt. So like the concept is like Laufey like passed away, and she's in the afterlife of the gods, quote unquote. So she is in this world where old gods that have either like that have passed away are going to be around, which I think is a really interesting setup because knowing God of War, like Kratos killed a whole bunch of gods. So a lot of those gods that he killed are probably, I would assume, going to show up in some way. From like past games. And I'm curious if they're gonna do anything about, or they're gonna address like how a god gets killed,
right?
In their world, because like there is like, yes, getting killed by Kratos, but I am curious if they're gonna go by like that idea of set up by other media of like a god gets killed when people kind of stop worshiping them. So like I'm curious if that's also gonna talk about that idea of worship, because they do set that up in Ragnarok a little bit of like Kratos kind of, I mean, it's spoilers for like a pretty old game, but like kind of changing from the god of war to like the god of hope kind of thing of, and like people kind of like worshiping him in that way. So like he kind of continues on as like a different form or a different god kind of thing. And I'm curious if they are going to address that idea of like, for gods, it is kind of like human worship that kind of like sustains them. So I don't know. I'm curious like where it's gonna go. I feel like it can go in a lot of different places, and it'll just be interesting to see if they are gonna bring back any of the old gods that Kratos was responsible for killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty. Yeah, I'm really curious to see. I think that's the part of the game that really makes me interesting, just to see how you incorporate all these different mythologies, all these different gods, and how they kind of come together, and how it works kind of narratively as well. But Matt, you know, we talked about, you know, action game fluidity and how animations are when we were kind of talking about Kemuri, but from the gameplay you saw from the new God of War, how are you feeling gameplay wise?
I mean, it seems about the same as the gameplay I remember seeing for the other God of War games to me. I never played the other, I guess like the newer God of Wars, but this one seemed flashier than like the other ones. Okay,
she got juggles.
Yeah.
Kratos couldn't juggle.
Okay, man, I am very okay. Someone like mentioned this in just one of the probably like Reddit threads I was reading, but I really really want to see someone do a supercut of like Kratos being sad in God of War and like in Ragnarok, and then just it like intercut with Laufey gameplay.
That would be pretty good. That would be pretty good. And yeah, I think the air juggles really caught me, or really surprised me, and really made me excited. But boys, PlayStation 5s are expensive, so we'll see if I ever get my hands on this. But that was the Sony State of Play, and to round off the week, we did see the Summer Game Fest proper, and that started off with the reveal of the Resident Evil Veronica, no more code, but this will be 2027. Capcom continues to be on a roll with their Resident Evil re-releases, and I think this has been a game that everyone was not half expecting, but expecting to be done eventually, just based on the current track record, and it is great to see it fully announced. And Julian, how are you feeling about Capcom's Resident Evil release schedule with, you know, one mainline game and then one re-release? Is this something that you've been keeping up with? And let's be honest, Julian, how do you expect 5 to go when it finally gets around there?
Ooh, okay. I mean, number one, Capcom is, I feel like, going on a crazy run.
Yeah.
I feel like their release schedule has been like pretty consistent, aside from like I don't know how they're doing it. I think they're like leapfrogging developers, right? Like this is done by, if I read correctly, like the 2 remake and the 4 remake people.
Yes.
So it's they kind of leapfrog from that, while the one who did Requiem was like a different team. So I guess that makes sense, where they're kind of giving them like a longer development cycle. But it has kind of resulted in pretty consistent games, which is amazing. I am curious how they're gonna do, because they are reaching the end of their line here.
Yep.
Because after Veronica is 5, and then 6, and then we're back to modern era with 7.
I guess
So-
you can do
so, like-
0, 2, if you really wanted
yes,
to.
yes. They haven't done 0. Yeah, you're right. So I would assume it would be Veronica 5, 0, then 6. If they're gonna like do everything before 7, I don't know if they are, but
Julian, there's gonna be some heavy lifting when it comes to 6. Where I wonder if that's just based on the mythology and its current place in gaming culture. If that's a completely different game than what 6 originally was at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Veronica is probably going to be a completely different game. Because, like, Veronica, Code Veronica, like the Dreamcast one, it was a very, like, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but it was a very, like, campy kind of, like, game.
Yep.
And a lot of that came into, like, at the time, like, pretty bad voice acting because it was kind of just created at that time where voice acting wasn't, like, put a lot of time into it. But I would assume from the looks of it, they're gonna try to make it a little bit more, instead of like campy, it is gonna be a bit more of that horror feel from the looks of it, to kind of follow the rest of their remake kind of situation. So it is gonna probably be a pretty different game. But yeah, like when you get to 5, gameplay wise, it does get super actiony.
Yeah.
Which I guess they did with 4 as well.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I guess there's precedent for it, but
I'm just gonna say I'm just curious to see what they do with the story at that point.
That is the tricky bit.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how they're gonna address it. Like I guess
where spoilers for next week's conversation when Persona 4 Revival gets I'm assuming fully announced in a few hours. Really curious to see if that gets adapted as well. And how my favorite game of all time plays in 2026, if I have to be completely honest. But
talking about that too, for Code Veronica, the main bad guy also, I feel like will need a rework in modern landscape. Because like I guess I don't want to spoil it because then I'm not sure how many people play Code Veronica versus how they're gonna play the remake, but
yeah,
they are gonna have to kind of like. There are, for the villain, there are aspects of Code Veronica that will come off as pretty insensitive. Like in
did he get canceled?
How it is now.
Are they a problematic person or thing? I don't know. Resident Evil.
No, not them, but more so like how they're treated, because they are, they have a. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it because it is going to be a thing. But Claire, I'm gonna say Claire doesn't come off as, or would be considered problematic.
Oh no!
If they keep Claire's lines,
okay.
in the remake, Claire's gonna come off as pretty problematic. All
right, I guess that's something to see and probably stay off Twitter about when it eventually comes out. But yes, that is Resident Evil Veronica coming out 2027. I'm excited. Claire looks good as well, and guys, I always get a kick to see Dreamcast, PlayStation, Nintendo 64 characters of that era get their glow ups for 2026. Always great to see.
Rest in peace, Perfect Dark, I think.
Yes. Oh man, damn. Now I'm sad again. Matt, new Cuphead game and Almighty Cuphead Adventure announced. Are you a Cuphead guy, Matt?
Not really, but I've always liked how Cuphead looked. But I'm not really. I've never really played the Cuphead games.
Okay, but there was an announcement that Matt, I'm going back to our chat, and you said, "Hey, do you think we'll see any more of that spiritual successor to Shadow of the Colossus?" And Matt, a few seconds right after you sent me that message, we got a closer look at Gen Atlas, the new game from Fumito Ueda. Matt, how are you feeling about Gen Atlas?
I think I don't like it.
Oh no, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know really what I was expecting the game to be, but what they showed in that trailer was not very interesting to me.
Wow. Matt, I thought this would be up your alley because I personally love giant robots hitting other giant robots, and I got a good shot of a giant robot hitting another giant robot.
Yeah, like that was like a good bit to me, but I think I don't know. It just seems weird. Something about it just doesn't seem interesting to me.
Okay,
but I think this is one of those games I'll try anyway. I don't know, or I'll keep a close eye on.
All right, how about you, Julian?
You're controlling the giant robots, right? From the looks of it,
I think so. You do have it has a very Gurren Lagann ass like look to it when he's flying around.
Yeah, so you're not fighting the Colossus this time. I
think you are, because there is a scene where he's like shooting into a robot's like cyber guts or something.
But okay, Julian, any thoughts on Gen Atlas?
I mean, I'm curious. I never played The Last Guardian because in my head I feel like that game can only end in one way, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that to myself.
I don't want to see this dog thing die.
I'm not gonna do that to myself, so I never played it. So I am curious how this one is gonna go. I guess I don't know. I mean, he does have a really good track record. I loved Eco. I love Shadow of the Colossus. I never played Last Guardian, so maybe this will be good.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like giant robots fighting each other, and do you think we're getting that? I guess we are getting that out of Gundam Rogue Orbit.
I mean, yeah,
as the resident Gundam guy, Matt. Did Rogue Orbit do anything for you?
Oh man, Rogue Orbit got me. That just looks like a action third person action fighting game with a Gundam, and that's basically what I'm looking for. I was very surprised that was a Gundam game, to be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Throughout the whole trailer itself, I thought this was just a new mech game, and we saw the Gundam branding at the end, and then we saw that ending stinger, which even Rakush was talking about how not necessarily getting the meaning behind that. But Matt, how do you feel about the potential Gundam integration, and what was that end stinger about?
I mean, I don't know if the character is someone important. I couldn't really tell from their their silhouette. I think having the Haro there, like the little flying robot, it's just like a very iconic Gundam kind of thing. It's like it's there, I guess, like equivalent of like a Final Fantasy Chocobo in terms of like branding. But
right. Okay.
Yeah, I was just like very surprised that it's a Gundam game. Like when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, is this Virtual On or some shit?" And I don't know, because they're fighting like a robot dragon, which is like so far outside of what I would ever expect to see in a Gundam anything, that I just didn't believe that it was a Gundam game for, I don't know, a long while, and I'm interested in seeing if this leads to like, I don't know, like an anime series or anything like that.
And so I don't know. I just like, as I said before, seeing giant robots fight each other is always good in my book. Matt, is that Gundam Breaker 4 game ever going to be at a decent sale price?
Probably not, man. That game, I don't even think Gundam Breaker 3 ever went on like a good sale price.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But Julian, you know what felt spooky? Seeing some Alien Isolation 2, and I know this has been a long-awaited fan favorite. Did you ever play the original Alien Isolation?
I did for a while. I don't recall finishing it.
Too spooky?
I don't know. Too spooky. I think also, like, I don't know. I'm not... I know a lot of people really like it, and all the respect to a lot of people that do like it, but I'm not a fan of, like, the run and hide genre of horror.
Okay.
I want to be able to like fight back in some way. Like the horror that I play is very like either like Silent Hill or Resident Evil. Like that's kind of like the horror that I kind of want to go into. But like the running and the hiding, I'm like, I don't really want to wait here in like under this table until this thing like goes away. Because I don't really find that scary. I don't know.
Right.
Like jump scares don't really get me. So for me, it's just a lot of waiting.
Okay, fair. I mean, come on, Julian. If you're not a Japanese schoolgirl who can quickly dodge, or a dad, or a middle-aged,
I need like
dad,
iframes. Yeah.
Yep. you need a schoolgirl with iframes, or a dad with one-liners. if neither of those are in your game, no, thank you.
No thanks.
Matt, Julian, do we think this is Platinum's A team working on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin?
I hope so, because like a Last Ronin game is very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope so as well.
Where I know this has been announced for a minute, no developer was attached, and with The Last Ronin having such a following, just being a really good turtle story and just an overall story in general, to having Platinum attached to your game still means something to me in 2026. And
it means something to me too, Jaren, but I don't think it's a good thing.
I mean, Ninja Gaiden 4 was pretty good. Bayonetta 3 left a lot to be desired, but I hope Platinum's still there. The soul of Platinum's still there. And again, I think more eyes are on this game with Platinum's attachment, but I hope it's a home run. I do hope it's a home run.
Yeah.
Because when Platinum gets a W, I feel like I get a W as well. Not Guild Wars 3. Does this do anything for you?
Oh, man, that was the biggest surprise, and I'm so excited for Guild Wars 3. Jaren, I thought I was out of the MMO game, but maybe I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Was there any new information attached to the announcement, Matt, that made you excited?
I don't think so. I think it's just wild to me to see Guild Wars 3. Like they had been doing, what do you call it? Like I think they brought back like Guild Wars 1 as like a WoW Classic-esque style thing. So I thought, okay, they're not, like this company is not going to be doing anything with this property for a while. And then to see this, I was legitimately surprised. Like,
I'd assume they're gonna keep their like no subscription model, right? Like it's weird. It would be weird to change now.
Yeah, it'd be weird to change now. Like they have to do that, and I don't know. Like it being Guild Wars 3 was such a like flip for me. Like I think Jaren, you were saying earlier how people were like, "Oh, what is this?" when Kemuri was playing, and then when what's her name, the dev came out. She was like, "Oh hey, oh it's her game. Maybe it's good." Jaren, that was me. When they were saying, I'm like, "Oh, a new MMO. That seems weird." And then when the title drop happened, I was like, "Oh man, I'm in.
Let's go."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jaren, I'm the problem.
I have a lot of fond memories of Guild Wars 2, so I'm really curious to see how 3 comes along. When it eventually does come out. To kind of go to the racing game corner real quick, we got a good look at Star Wars Galactic Racer. Yep. Those are race pods going fast, and those are burnout level takedowns as well. So I
really want to play that game.
It looks really good. I'm really excited to see. Again, I'm not the biggest Star Wars guy, but I do like going fast. So really curious to see how that comes out. That is October 6th as well. And then, boys, we saw ex-developers of Forza Horizon, Maverick Games, reveals Clutch, an open-world racing game set in the French Riviera. From everything that's come out to this will be a more cinematic experience. And as someone who... as much as I do like the map vomit only in the Forza Horizon games, I do like a more narratively structured racing game. So if they're able to have that as long as the cars feel good and there is a decent narrative attached, I'm really looking forward. Hopefully that's what the package will be. So hopefully I can look forward to Clutch when this comes out as well. We also got to see a bit of Virtua Fighter Crossroads. Again, this is coming from RGG Studios. If the single player to this is just a new Yakuza Light game, I think that's something to really look forward to. Julian, did the Virtua Fighter single player stuff do anything for you?
Oh, no, I don't know. I don't really play
Virtua
Virtua Fighter, so no.
No, that's all right. As someone who can't compete online without being sad, I'm always looking forward to see how a single player component to a fighting game is. And with RGG's pedigree, I'm really hoping that this would be something a bit more meaty and substantial than what we got with Capcom and the World Tour mode for Street Fighter 6. But Matt, anything else from the state of play that caught your attention?
I mean, it's been around for a while, but like just like a quick thing, I am still excited for Soulframe. I feel like I missed the the ship to get onto a Warframe, and
Yes.
Soulframe is far more my thing thematically. So I'm hoping Soulframe does well.
Mm-hmm. Really looking forward to that. Julian, can I say the magic words now?
Go for it.
The Wolf Among Us 2.
Oh.
2027 for the PC with the Wolf Among Us remastered to be released on holiday 2026. Julian?
Yeah.
Fan favorite, of course. How do you feel about seeing it with its 2027 release date now?
I still don't believe it personally. That game has been in development hell for so long that like even if they're saying 2027, I'm like, I don't know, guys. I guess I'll see when it actually does come out. But oof, like they have consistently promised that game is gonna come out like this year, and then it gets pushed.
Telltale the game's died, comes back.
Yeah, and then it wouldn't be the first time if that 2027 like becomes another like 2028. Like it wouldn't surprise me in any way.
So Julian, when don't we do 2027's Open Critic, Fantasy Critic?
Man.
Is this
Bro, if anyone, I'm a counter pick if anyone picks that.
Oh man. But saying at least do you see yourself playing the remastered for 2026 at the very least?
Maybe. I feel like I have a lot fonder memories of that game. Than maybe, I don't know. I played it when it came out. I played it episodically. I know it was a bit of a mess because people were able to figure out the actual like mystery from episode 1. And then I think like the developers kind of like did some lifting to try to like not do the original plan. So like apparently like they made some changes from the original plan, which kind of showed where the ending was kind of like, it's all right. But it is like it was, I feel like still a pretty good like mystery in my head, but I haven't played in a while, so maybe I will check out the remastered. I'm just confused about Telltale as a whole, though. Like, they died, right? Like, when did they come back?
It's hard to say. It's hard to keep track. It's hard to keep track. I'm hoping, boys. I'm hoping. Weird discourse aside, we did get our first look at Stellar Blade Bloodrain, and boys, you know me. I love me some good hand-to-hand combat. I love when it's just pure fisticuffs. And I know the devs have said this is early in development, but the protagonist Evie will get a variety of weapons throughout the different games. But
I don't know.
Just right off the bat, the fisticuffs gameplay really sold me. It looks really fluid, step up from the first game. And again, we're seeing a bigger cyberpunk aesthetic. I think the dev said for what was shown in the trailer, that will be a bit more linear, but there will be more open areas, which, Julian, if I had to be honest, kind of still scares me, considering what the open areas meant to Stellar Blade 1. But not from a gameplay perspective, what did you think of Bloodrain?
I mean, I like the punching. The punching looked really, really good. It made me, like, Jaren, I even screenshotted you at that time, the current price of a Stellar Blade. I'm like, man, this game does not go on sale. So maybe the next time it does, it's like, what was it, like 30% sale? I might go in on it.
I mean, when she does her Superman punch equivalent, that was one of essentially Eve's attacks with her sword, but it looks way better when you just have the fisticuffs involved. I'm going to be a prude and say that I thought Evie looked better when she had the hood on. I think just the bodysuit aspect is still a bit jarring for me being an old man. But Julian, as someone fresh off Stellar Blade, not necessarily fresh, but who has finished it within the recent months. Did Bloodrain do anything for you? And how do you feel about the Bloodrain erasure?
Bloodrain erasure? What do you mean?
You guys don't remember the vampire third-person action game Bloodrain?
Oh! Well, that's spelled BLOOD no space RAYNE.
Yep.
So
totally
it's
different.
not really
Totally
erasing
different.
anything. Yeah, totally different. I see where you're at, though.
But yeah,
I'm worried about the open world, like you said. Like I really liked Stellar Blade, the weakest parts definitely are kind of that open world aspect.
Yep.
It was literally 2 giant deserts.
Yep.
So I'm like, I don't know, like this isn't the play I feel. If their open worlds are a bit more varied, like that cyberpunk city looks cool.
Mhm.
If that's kind of the open world and there's kind of like more verticality, and like if they kind of do some traversal options for that verticality, I feel like that would play a little bit better. I'm not sure what their plan is though. And I'm kind of confused how this connects to the first Stellar Blade, because that kind of ends in a weird way definitively with like where Eve is at. Is this a prequel? Is it a sequel? Is it not on the same planet as Stellar Blade 1? I don't know the answers to these questions.
From what I saw, it's in the same world as Stellar Blade. It's not technically a direct sequel, but it is within the same world. I think it is from what was announced after the events of Stellar Blade 1, and I believe Eve will appear in some capacity, so take that for what you will.
Oh man.
But yeah, boys, I just love punching stuff.
Yeah,
Guys, there's a Bloodrain Definitive Edition coming out in July. Or Definitive Collection.
Maybe I'll play. I think I liked Bloodrain too. I can't tell. That was in that weird PS2 area when I was playing games.
wasn't the main gameplay of that like you slide on rails and like spin with your blades?
Oh,
I remember doing
Or am
that.
I-
Yes, I
am
wouldn't
I
say it was
making
the
that
main. I wouldn't say it's the main component, but there was like rail grinding in those games.
There is a lot of rail grinding. Yeah.
Julian, did you play First Light?
No, I want to, but
Okay.
games are expensive.
I was gonna
I
ask.
just bought the Steam controller.
Boys, Lenny Kravitz's character was announced in a new mission. I heard Lenny Kravitz's delivery in that game wasn't the greatest. So, but if you have Lenny Kravitz on your roster, you gotta utilize him, I guess. We also have Wiz Khalifa coming to Hitman: World of Assassination. That's fun.
Yeah, that was weird, to be honest. I was like, oh.
I love how fun the Hitman DLCs
Yes.
are. There's the Eminem one where you have to help Eminem kill Slim Shady.
What?
Yeah.
His alter ego Slim Shady is like evil, so you have to help Eminem kill him.
I need to play the Hitman games. Fuck.
Boys, I don't want to be famous enough where my corpse is digitally reanimated like Tupac, but I kind of want to be famous enough where I'm in a Hitman game. I think that's the balance of where I want to be at. And then the game and Summer Games Fest does end with the Final Fantasy VII Revelation. You can dress up Tifa, of course.
Yo, congrats on Dress Fears, bro.
Fears.
Congrats on Dress Fears coming back.
Thank you. Matt, now that the third game has been announced, this will be released spring 2027. I know have you played any of the Final Fantasy VII remakes?
No, I keep looking at them like I should, and then I'm like, maybe there'll be a definitive collection that'll come out all at once, and I don't know. It's like,
This is my PSA.
Yep.
If you have any interest in this like trilogy of games, I feel like, and you can disregard this, but I really feel like you need to play them with months in between each one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They are long as fuck.
Okay.
Like I played Remake and then I went into Rebirth right after, and I couldn't do it. You need to like have a couple months gap. So if you're interested in Revelation, this is my PSA. I feel like you should start now. Like do remake, wait a couple months, do Rebirth, wait a couple months for Revelation, and then you're golden.
Did they say Revelation's release date?
Spring, I believe.
Spring
Spring
2027.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe.
Hey, Julian, as someone who knows nothing about Final Fantasy VII other than his favorite character being Aerith, I know she wasn't in the trailer of Revelations. Why is that?
Well, because she went home.
She's on a farm.
She's like, you know what? I'm not feeling this adventure.
3 games in a row is a lot for some people. I understand.
I am interested in where it's gonna go because I'm not sure. Do you guys know much about like the aspects of the remake trilogy for Final Fantasy VII?
Julian, all I've heard was, and correct me if I'm wrong, and sorry for the spoilers. For some reason, I heard when the discourse of the second one was coming around, I heard a lot of people say multiverse, and that kind of soured them. So I don't know how much of that
that's what I was hearing. I was hearing it's in like an AU or some shit.
It is not a straight remake, which surprised a lot of people. It is weird because it does have a multiverse aspect where Sephiroth, long story short, it's Sephiroth going back in time to try to get a win in Final Fantasy VII.
Oh man.
And that is kind of like the trigger point that causes a lot of changes in these remakes. But then there is also another aspect of the game that is trying to keep and preserve the original. There's like this weird meta commentary of like what remakes should be, like whether remakes should kind of respect the original versus whether remakes should kind of like add more to like what's there. So like there's weird meta thing going on. But it isn't a straight remake. And I assume they did that on purpose because like a lot of people that are going to be playing this probably have an idea of the big story beats of what Final Fantasy VII, the original, was. So like they were like, because going into Rebirth, there is kind of that question of like, oh, what's going to happen to Aerith? Like, are they going to kind of follow through in the original? And there's a weird thing where like if you've played Remake and Rebirth, if you watch this trailer, it's weird because there is a potential that they're gonna like go into the multiverse aspect where it's like they might pull characters that are not around anymore.
Oh man, if they pull Sora into this game, I'm gonna lose it.
Because there have been characters that are now alive that aren't in the remake trilogy, like Zack. I'm not sure if you know anything about like 7 as a whole, but Zack famously not around for all of 7, but is kind of around for this remake trilogy in certain aspects. So I don't know, like they might undo or kind of like redo certain beats. It's weird. I'm curious where they're gonna go with it because it is kind of like the final game, so they might like wrap it up, but we'll see.
We shall see. And boys, that was the Sony State of Play, the Summer Games Fest, at least the quick hit versions, just because we are running a BP Boy show this time. Again, sorry, Matt. But as I kind of said at the top of the hour, at the time of recording, the Xbox Direct will be in a bit, and the Nintendo Direct is kind of rumored to be sometime this week as well. So hopefully that's something we can all talk about next week. But as tradition, by the time our friends listen to this episode, those two potentially would have happened already. Matt, we got your predictions last week, but Julian, bring us home before Don't Match Me. What are your Nintendo and Xbox predictions that may be wildly wrong by the time our friends hear this?
Just to like... just antagonize you. Persona 4 remake this year. Let's do it.
No, this year, Shadow Drop.
Shadow Drop.
Boys, for the sake of my fantasy critic, we're getting that Duskbloods announcement, right?
Oh man, I think we're getting Duskbloods announcements for 2027, dude. I don't believe in Duskbloods. Oh man.
And final, boys, real list of talks. Since this is the mistake zone, Smash Brothers, yes, no?
No.
Ultimate remake, let's do it.
I think that I think a new Smash gets its own Nintendo Direct. It is just a Smash Nintendo Direct. It doesn't,
Fair.
show up at the end of a thing. They just like start a new Nintendo Direct and it's all Smash.
Do you guys think we will get that ultimate upgrade for the Switch 2, or do you think that's the licenses will prevent that?
I guess it depends on the license, right? Because like, does that count as a new game? Would they have to repay those licenses, or is it like it is? Because the upgrade is just usually just a graphical thing, right? But is the license specifically for consoles as opposed to like game?
Because technically you are down like purchasing something again. So I don't know how that would work. That's dicey. I asked Matt this last week. Julian, do we see Ocarina of Time if the Nintendo Direct happens?
I don't think so. I think, like Matt said, I think it'll probably be its own direct at some point, like they did for the Star Fox one.
So you guys are telling me I don't know how to play Fantasy Critic this year. Got it. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, Jaren, you're talking to somebody who counterpicked GTA 6. So
you know what though? We're still not sure. That could still be next year.
Maybe.
Oh man. But boys, that has been a Beefy Boy episode of The Mistake Zone here on Saturday Morning Arcade. But it is that time of week again. One more jam before we bid you farewell for the week. Matt, I know I asked you to take it away, but take it away before I ask you to take it away again.
So, this is the Don't Match Me segment of The Mistake Zone. For those who don't know, this is just a game that we play at the end of every episode of The Mistake Zone, where I, the question asker, am going to ask you, the listener, along with my co-host, 5 questions, and I'm going to give 5 answers. The goal for you, the listener, and for my co-host is to give answers that don't match my answer. Of course, if that sounds too easy for you, you can also try to simultaneously not match Jaren and Julian as well. And this is a podcast, so if you need some time to think, just hit that pause button, Google an answer, and start us back up again, because we're always going to be on the other side of that play button. And guys, I decided to do a Don't Match Me Summer Games Fest 2026 edition. So,
nice.
I'm going to say now, pre-Google that, like a list of Summer Game Fest releases, because you might need it. You might need it. So, let's start off at the top with question 1. I just want you to name any sequel that was announced during Summer Games Fest. So, name that sequel in 3, 2, 1. Of course, I'm going with my most hyped sequel of Guild Wars 3. Jaren, where would you go to?
I went with a game we didn't talk about because I thought that would make me save. I went with Mortal Shell 2.
Julian?
I went with Until Dawn 2 because that had a 2.
Of course.
Good 2.
All right. Guys, for my second question, I want you to name any game with PvP that was shown during Summer Games Fest.
PvP.
Any type of game where like you're playing against another, at least like one other person, or you can play against one other person. Name that game in 3, 2, 1. I'm going with something we didn't talk about during the show, which is Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Jaren, what'd you go with?
Shout out Epic Alien, Matt. Shout out Epic Alien. I also want to shout out Ben Starr for throwing to a trailer for Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 3.
Oh, man. Julian, what'd you go with?
I went with Dune Awakening. I'm not sure if that has some.
That does have. You can PvP like people in it.
It is like an MMO, right? So
yeah, it's kind of like in that like same vein as like Rust and that type of thing.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, this sounds like it has one.
All right. Going on to question 3. I want you to name any game that got an expansion or a DLC or like an add-on, like an existing game that got additional content announced during Summer Game Fest.
Oh.
Okay.
So, name that expansion, DLC, or add-on in 3, 2, 1. I'm going with one that we did mention. I'm going with Wiz Khalifa and Hitman.
Okay.
Jaren, what'd you go to?
Matt, will you accept my answer of Wuthering Waves and their Cyberpunk Edge Runners crossover?
Yeah, I think that counts. Julian?
Matt, we re-rolling?
Jaren, I was so tempted to go not only in for that, I've been thinking about rolling in like Honkai Star Rail because they're doing the Fate series crossover. And I like me some Rintasaka.
We're so fucking easy, Matt. It's disgusting.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, Jaren. Julian, would you go with?
I chose Mafia the Old Country DLC Man of Honor because it was the first one I saw.
We're just scrolling here, Matt. We're just scrolling here.
Scrolling the page.
Of course. All right. Okay, so while you're scrolling that page, for question 4, I want you to name any game whose source material is not a video game.
Oh.
Oof. Okay.
Okay. I think I got one.
So name that game in 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna go with Saw Genesis.
Ooh, nice.
Jaren, would you go with?
I went with Attack on Titan 3.
Oh, of course. Julian, how about you?
I did Hot Wheels Infinite Rush.
Oh,
That's a good one.
that's good. That's good.
That's a toy, I think, right?
That's good. That's good. Okay, guys. For my final question, I'm getting us ready for Fantasy Critic next year. I want you to name any game releasing in 2027. That was announced at Summer, or that was shown at Summer Games Fest. So name that game that should be releasing in 2027 in 3, 2, 1. I'm going with my big surprise, which was Gundam Rogue Orbit. Jaren, what'd you go with?
I went with Virtua Fighter Crossroads. Hopefully will be released 2027 for consoles and PCs.
Julian, what'd you go with?
Going with my girl, Lara Croft Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis.
Ooh. All right. We got some pre-picks planned for a January episode. Okay.
Julian, how'd that Tomb Raider stuff look to you?
It looked pretty good. It's like it's weird because it's like a sequel remake or something. A sequel / remake of the first. It's like the first.
What? I thought it was just a remake of the first one.
It's a remake of the first one, but they're doing this weird thing where they're melding the timelines of like the Survivor trilogy. So like Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh, it's not a straight reboot?
No, so like it's still in that Survivor remake world, but they're melding it together with like what if that Lara Croft was now in the adventures of the original Lara Croft like games. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
So Julian, you're saying this is a Final Fantasy VII like?
It is yeah, exactly. It's a Strand type game or whatever Kojima said.
Guys, I kind of want to watch the Among Us TV show. That has a very surprisingly
that cast was actually stacked. I'm not. Matt, are we going to do a Among Us TV show spoiler cast?
Oh, maybe.
At least one segment. Oh man. Good times. But boys, that was another beefy boy episode of The Mistake Zone. As always, I want to thank my best friend Matt for joining me this week and of course editing this behemoth of a podcast and bringing us Don't Match Me for the week. Thanks, Matt.
Yo, thanks, Jaren. As always, I want to thank you for hosting this episode and, joining us for the talk that me and Julian excluded you from at the Mina the Hollower segment of this episode.
Wouldn't have it any other way. And of course, want to thank our friend Julian for joining us this week to talk about Mina and some of the games we watched this week. Thanks, Julian.
Yeah, no, thanks for inviting me.
Boys, got to thank Mr. Keeley for saving video games once again for the summer. Got to shout out, what was her name? The Filipino girl from Street Fighter. That's how much my brain is fried right now. Want to thank... Boys, we talked about Summer Games Fest, and now I can't think of any single game to thank. Matt, please take it away as I crash and burn here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this has been The Mistake Zone, and we're all out of this episode that was just as long as Summer Game Fest.
Yep.